What's up YouTube, I'm Twisted, and today starts the spoiler season for the next expansion of Legends of Runeterra. As you can see, Nilah will be part of this new expansion, which seems to be named Fate's Voyage Onward. Onward seems to be a secondary title, just like we had with World Ender or Awaken in the Darkin Saga expansion. As you may know, I'm not really going to be looking at the cards from a gameplay side of things. I'm going to be focusing on their flavor and on their artwork. So let's get on it. Shout out to Humaralu for providing all the artworks and all the flavor of each card. So, Wizen Helmsman seems to be an elephant man. We can see here the staff from Tidal Invocation. The mind is a river. Over time, the dedication of its flow carves the faces of the mountains. And like the mind, with momentum, it may grow ever wider and touch new shores. Okay, interesting. We can also see another follower here and another character here who doesn't really seem like a follower, but might be. And they are fighting some kind of sea monster. I think that's very on brand for Nilah. Vikrash, the Exuberant. Alright, so we got here another follower, and again we can see the elephant from the previous card, and I believe these two were also there, and obviously there's Nilah here. And I like how Nilah's orb is very visible here in the artwork. I think it was very intentional. Look, my friends, at how the whole world moves with us. The waves dance beneath the hull, the wind in the sails, the birds upon the breeze. Join me in our highest calling, and rejoice. One thing I didn't mention in the previous cards is how all of these followers are in some kind of boat, and so is Nilah. We can see here in this artwork that Nilah is clearly on a boat, and there's also this artwork which will likely be for a card that will be revealed in the future, which obviously depicts Nilah on the boat, and we can even see one of the followers, two actually, right here. The Lodge. In the hands of the wise, water shapes all, dedicant of wisdom. Okay. Split stream. Unfeathered Exolution. Exulation, my bad. Nilah. Alright, so these are all water-themed spells. I believe this is from one of Nilah's abilities in League of Legends. Speaking of which, Formless Blade, monsters who call themselves gods have a long way to fall, no matter the land. No matter the land is interesting. It's also interesting because we see Nilah and her followers on a boat. So even though all of these cards, which I haven't mentioned, are from Bilgewater, that might suggest something else. Let's continue. Wildfire, Ashes to Ashes, Annie. These might seem like really random when we've seen so many of Nilah's cards and Bilgewater cards, but it's actually because we are getting a new subtype for the spells, which is Elemental, and a lot of old spells are getting this Elemental subtype. As I mentioned in my last speculation video, I wasn't really sold on the idea of Tidal Invocation being a teaser for Nilah. Obviously I was wrong, but I don't really mind that. Predicting stuff is fun, but being wrong is also fun, because I get to be surprised, and Nilah is definitely a good surprise. I love Nilah. Though in this video I did mention that Riot was working on demons, and probably the most noteworthy example of this is with League's upcoming champion, which hasn't been confirmed to be related to demons, but seems very likely at this point. Also in this video I mentioned how this could be the staff of one of the heroes mentioned in the bio of Nilah, and I think that's definitely what's going on here. If we check here the design of Nilah's followers, they very closely resemble Nilah herself, or Nilah's design. Even the weapons that they wield also seem similar to Nilah's. So I'm very confident that these are the heroes mentioned in her story. Now, with all these cards out of the way, one question still remains. What will be Nilah's region? After seeing so many Bilgewater cards, you might assume, okay, Nilah is a Bilgewater champion, but we already got a Bilgewater champion in this set, Jack. In the first speculation video that I made this year, I mentioned that I was expecting this set to have a total of 13 new champions, one for each region and 3 Runeterra champions. And following this logic, if I knew that Nilah was coming to the game, I would assume that she would be a Runeterran champion. However, we are getting a lot of Bilgewater cards related to Nilah. And if Nilah was ever to come to the game, I would expect her to be in Bilgewater. First, because Bilgewater already has an exclusive champion, and secondly, because Bilgewater only has 2 champions left, one being Graves and the other being Nilah. As I also mentioned, if in the current set each region got a brand new champion, that would mean that Bilgewater would still have the least amount of champions out of all regions. But if Nilah is coming in the same set as Jack, then that would mean that Bilgewater would end up with 11 champions, making the number of champions slightly more balanced across all regions. Of course, the Shadow Isles and Targon would still have 12, and Bandle City would still have 14, though Bandle City is more of an exception. If you've been following Legends of Runeterra for a while, then you probably might have realized that last year Riot did something a bit weird with the sets. Before, each set came with multiple expansions, but despite this, they were all still organized within the same set, at least in the client. But then came World Walker, and World Walker consisted of only 2 expansions. And then we had the Darkin Saga set, which came with 3 expansions. However, internally, these are both considered set 6. So, even though they are referred to separately here, internally these are both 6. And a similar thing was happening with this year's set. We had Glory in Avori, which was 7, and Heart of the Hunters, which was 7B. Riot is referring to these cards as being part of set 8. As you can see here, this is the code for this card, and it's set 8, Bilgewater, and then it's the number of the card within that set. I'm not sure what this could mean, if this even means anything. For now, I'm just considering that these are all part of the same set. At least it makes it easier to organize things and to predict and speculate about it, right? But yeah, we still don't really know if Nilah is going to be a Bilgewater champion or if she's going to be a Runeterra champion that plays around with all these elemental spells. I really have no idea. Since she's going to be released tomorrow, I might as well just wait and see. I do think that this subtype, elemental, reveals that elements are the theme of this new expansion, and it makes sense. We got Nilah with water, we got Volibear with thunder or storms or lightning, and we got Janna with wind. Also, I kinda just tweeted this as soon as I saw the elemental subtype, but apparently Divine Draft, which is the spell that is teasing Janna, isn't on this list, which I find at least peculiar, because if Janna is part of this elemental theme, you would think that a spell like that would also be considered elemental. And I just noticed this while looking at this image, but they leaked Janna's spells. We got here Galesome Call, Divine Whirlwind, and Howling Gale. Very interesting. Now I'm wondering if there's more here that I'm just missing. Oh, there is. We got Invocation of Thunder, clearly a Volibear spell. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video here. It couldn't be Runeterra without a few slip-ups, I guess. Let me know down below, which region do you think Nilah is going to be, because I have no idea if they are really going to release another Bilgewater champion so soon, but hey, I'd love for that to be the case. If I missed anything, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.